All right, folks, today we're going to try to check and possibly adjust our toe-in. This is a 2000 Yamaha Raptor. So first thing you got to do, make sure your bike is setting flush, pointing straight as best you can, and then you need to get some type of reference point to get a good measurement from. So what I done here is just got a piece of wood. Make sure it's sitting flush right here. I just kind of strapped it to my wheel. I did the same thing on both sides. I took a measurement here on the ends of the ground, made sure they're equal on both sides. So I got them about a foot to the top here. That way I've got them in the same part. And then what we're going to do is we're going to measure from the front into the backs and see what we get here. So just very easy, just going to pass this onto the other side to get there, and I measure this thing here, and I am about 45 7/8 on that one. And then on the front, which should be towed in, I am actually 46. So that means I'm actually about 1/8 of an inch towed out, which is not the way you want to do. We want to make it go this way. So what we're going to do next here, and I'll reposition everything, is we're going to adjust, loosen the lock nuts on the tie rods, which I'll show you, and then we'll adjust them, see if we can get the toe in correct. So let's try that. Okay, so I kind of got repositioned here over one of the tie rods. We got right here a jam nut, and then here's our tie rod here. It's a little bit hard to see. What we want to do here is you can take a 12 millimeter wrench. There's a flat spot, and then this is a 17 millimeter. You got a flat spot here on your tie rod to hold it flush, and then we're going to take this 17 millimeter, put it on the lock nut, and we are going to loosen it up. That's probably the right thread. All right. So the threads, at least on this one right here, is backwards. So instead of loosening it here, you actually got to turn it clockwise. So just pay attention. If it doesn't come loose very easily, then probably try to go the other way. So I'm going to unloosen. There's one jam nut here, one on the other end, and then of course on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get ready to make some adjustments. Okay. So here I'm at down by the tie rod. I'm going to try to hold this, try to stay out of the light, and adjust at the same time. So if you look right here at the spacing, is pretty close. So I don't know which way to adjust these ones, but what we want to do is make this gap get wider to make this longer. That's going to push the rear of the tire out this way and the front that way, which is what we want to do. So we're going to try to get this on here and twist, see which way to go. All right, so that way there does not look like it increased the gap. I go this way here once. There we go. You start to see that gap open up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go try to do one full turn. You want to, I've got this little mark on here. You want to make sure that you do these evenly. So I've done one full turn here. We'll do one full turn on the other side and check it. If it's too much, then we'll do go back a half a turn, or kind of go, whatever way I need to do. So I've got one turn on this side. I'm going to go ahead and do one turn on the other side, and then we will measure it, see if we got it close. But that looks like it kind of went out, close to 1/8 of an inch, not that much. That's probably about as much as I need. If I get 1/8 of an inch on the other, that's a quarter. That could be a little bit too much, but we'll see. You want to, I think here, this thing goes from the toe in, it's supposed to be anywhere, just from almost dead center to like a 1/4 inch, I think it's probably, or I think it's 0.4 inch, so it's close to a 1/2 inch. But the more toe in you have, the more drag you're going to have. So you want to get it just a little bit of toe in probably. There's probably some suspension experts out there. It probably also matters what you're trying to do in there, but you want to toe it in just a little bit. Probably 1/8 of an inch is probably a good place to start. If you can get it close to that, these things are anything but accurate anyway, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference if you're a little bit one way or the other. Mine was obviously towed out. I wasn't having any problems with it. I was kind of surprised to see that. So again, these things got enough play in them where they're not perfect anyway. So, but you do want a little bit of toe in. So let me go ahead and do the other side, and then we will measure it, see where we're at. Okay, so I've done one turn, and if you remember, this front side here was 46. Right now, I'm just sitting about 45 and a half. So that was a pretty big adjustment there. That's obviously way too far. Measuring here on the back side real quick. I am like 46 and a half. So now I'm about an inch of toe in. So I'm going to go back and give this thing a half a turn back the other way. That'll get me a half a turn, and we'll see where that is. So obviously, what I considered a pretty darn small adjustment made a huge difference. So yeah, let's go back. I'll take it back a half a turn, and we'll try there, and then we'll get it to where we need to get it. All right, so I went back and adjusted it a half a turn, and I was still way too far off. And so what I ended up doing is going back to about a quarter turn, and that actually turned out to be just right. So I am now 45 and 7/8 in the front, and I'm at 46 in the back, which is pretty darn close to what the opposite was before. I was 46 there, 45 and a half in the back, so I reversed it. So now I've got about an 1/8 inch of toe in. So with that, I'm pretty happy. I'll probably here just do a couple of double checks, and then you want to snug up your tie rod jam nuts that we loosened before, and we're good to go. You just want to make sure when you tighten everything up, you don't turn anything, and then once you get everything tightened up, it's probably a good idea just to double check it. Again, there's always a chance for it turning just a little bit. Again, just a little bit of turn seems to make a big difference in the tire, so something to pay attention. So once you get it locked down, they're probably a good deal to just check everything. But that's really it. So I don't know how it got out. This is a new bike. I've had it for 1 year. I've certainly put it through hell and hit a lot of stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I haven't noticed anything different in the bike, and was kind of surprised to see that it was off, especially towed out. So something I definitely recommend checking at least once a year. If you hit a lot of stuff, maybe check it a little bit more, but it's pretty easy to do. You can do it yourself. It just takes a little bit of wood. You don't really necessarily have to do some wood. I think the manual just says put a mark on your tire, and then just rotate to make sure you get the same spot. What you want to do is make sure you're getting the same height and the same spot in the wheel. That's kind of what I've done here with this piece of wood. But that's it. Pretty simple deal. That's how you adjust the toe in on your ATV. This is a 2018 Yamaha Raptor. Thanks.